Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've never been here before. If you don't know who I am, my name is JD. Imperfect Millionaires is my business, and what we do here is we teach people to make money online from anywhere they've got an internet connection, basically. And what you've stumbled into here is video 10 of a series that we're making, and it's how to go from $0 to $10,000 a month in 2023 as an affiliate marketer. So if that's something that interests you, you're more than welcome to watch this video. This video is going to be a little bit different kind of video, and those of you that have been here before, you'll see what I mean in a minute. But if you're interested in learning how to do that step-by-step copy and paste, you're going to want to go back over here to video 1, where all of the instructions are laid out all the way through. But this also might be a good video for you to watch, actually, before you go back to video 1. And if you want to know what we're doing here, this whole series is based on a little platform called HBA, Home Business Academy, and it's literally 25 bucks to get started, and I will show you how to copy and paste all the things that I do. And there is some paid stuff you can do, so I don't want to be misleading that you couldn't spend more than 25 bucks. You definitely can. But if you want to know more about it, you literally can spend 25 bucks, get started, and start making money. Okay, so no scams, no gimmicks, no crap. It's straight up, that's what it is. There are additional things you can do, paid advertising, all that kind of thing. You can spend more money. You definitely don't have to get started. There is an upgrade within HBA for the premium. It's 125 bucks a month. I won't pull all that up here because people that watch this whole series are probably kind of tired of hearing me say that. So what I'm going to highly recommend, if you want to know more about it, is go back over here to video 1, and below the video there will be a little button that says show more. Click on that button, and that will take you to the all of the links, and HBA is in there. Okay, and or just watch video 1 and it'll explain all that what I just explained to you. So for those of you that are back, welcome back. And what I want to cover today isn't necessarily another platform. I've given you a lot of platforms already, and we're going to cover more platforms. We still got Instagram, and we still got YouTube for sure, right? But I've been kind of taking a poll with you guys to see where your interests lie, and it feels like to me right now that your plates are pretty full with the information I've given you. And so what I want to talk about today is just that, right, on how to be successful. So some of you, I feel like you're going through the motions, but you don't really have a grasp on it. So I've even taken notes today to make sure that I cover everything, because normally, you know, I jump on these videos and I'm pretty familiar with all of the information and I just run through it. But I'm talking to a lot of you, and I'm getting feedback that, you know, it feels to me like you're kind of going through the motions and you're not quite sure yet. I want you to know that that's normal, right? Because a lot of this stuff is new and you're starting out and you're not really sure exactly what to do. And that's perfectly normal, right? To just go through the motions a little bit, right? You're making videos, maybe it feels a little bit awkward, maybe it feels a little bit strange. And I do want to, I've heard from several people now, well, I don't want to just take your video and copy it. Look, I have no worry about that at all. Take my video and copy it. You know what I mean is like take the concept and then put it in your own words, right? You can use the same hashtags. You can, you know, if we're talking about TikTok or maybe Instagram or Facebook, don't worry about it, right? Because look, the world's a big place. The internet is a massive place, and I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. So if you want to take inspiration from something that I've created or any other creators, right? You don't want to copy it verbatim because that would probably be weird, and it's not your own words and it would feel strange anyway. But if you want to take inspiration from that and just run with it, I encourage you to do so. I have no worries about that at all, right? I've created a lot of videos out there, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, you know, all platforms, right? You get the concept. I can stop on that. So let me look at here what's next on my list that I wanted to cover. Okay. One thing I've said before that I really don't know that everybody's grasping firmly, and I really need you to have a grasp on this. If you're this deep into this series, I really need you to understand this. What you're trying to do out here as an affiliate marketer, or you should be trying to do, right? If you're in this for the long run and you really want some reliable income, you're trying to build an audience of people who know who you are, right? Frankly, that's what I'm doing here on YouTube. That's the reason to create a YouTube channel, right? Is so that you can see me, you can hear me. If you relate to me and you're watching 10 videos, then odds are you relate to me. If you don't, that's cool too, right? I mean, there's a lot of sayings that cover what I'm trying to say, but basically there's a fit for everyone. And there's people that don't fit with certain people, and all of that's okay. And I need you at this point to get okay with that. And what I'm trying to get you to do is identify your audience. So from what we're working on here, who is the audience, right? Well, you are, obviously. You're watching this video, right? Who else is the audience? Well, what are their concerns? What are their needs? What keeps them up at night? What are they worried about? Those are the problems that you need to start creating solutions for, really, right? So that's what you have, is you have a solution to their problem. But you need to communicate it in a way that you feel comfortable with and that causes people to relate to you. Now, let me clarify that. I don't mean pretend to be something you're not at all. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying be who you are, go out there and be accepting of the fact that there's some people that's just not going to work for. Create an audience of people that you relate to and that relate to you. Now, why this is important is that's the long-term side of it, okay? So what I bring to this channel, specifically, when I say long-term, I mean residual, right? Month after month after month. You don't want just, I'm assuming, you don't want just a payday, you know, here and there. You want it to be consistent. So what I'm trying to get at here, really simply, is that you want to choose something, and you have with HBA, that is renewable, right? But you also want to create an audience that's going to stick with you. That's why I've instructed you, and people are asking me this. They're like, well, you know, do I really need people's name and email? Yes, because that makes that person your customer. You're not out just like there's a lot of affiliate programs out here that have you just go out and collect information and give it to them. Now they have your customer. Does that make sense? So the reason all of you guys involved in this, I have your emails, is because it allows me to communicate with you, right? And you know, the reason I started this channel is it allows me to communicate with you. So these are the things I want you thinking about. I've got additional notes here. Okay, so on that note, back to what their concerns are, right? When you guys make videos, I'm getting a lot of questions about this. When you guys make videos, when I make a video, I'm usually addressing a concern that I feel like my audience has, right? And then I'm bringing a solution to that concern. Does that make sense? And I know that may sound, some of you are watching this, you're like, well, duh, right? Okay, well, some of you, it's not that obvious too, based on the conversations that I've had, okay? So you're gonna wanna figure out what the problem is, what the thoughts are, what the concerns are, and then bring a solution to that problem, right? You don't wanna just go point out somebody's problem, poke the, the wound, and then not provide a solution. That would be horrible. But it's okay to bring up the issue, to draw emotion to that problem, and then provide a solution. As a matter of fact, it's wonderful because you're actually bringing somebody a solution to something that causes them to, stay up at night and lose sleep, all right? Let's see. As far as what to do, right? People are saying, well, I'm not really hip on TikTok. I'm not really hip on this. I'm not really hip on that. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. You don't have to do anything. I do what I do because it works for me, right? And I'm quite honestly, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again right now. I am not a fan of TikTok. I just don't like it. I don't. That's just the way it is. But guess what? I do it anyway. The reason I do it anyway is because I'm creating short form video for other things, YouTube Shorts, right? And I'll mention that now. That's this conversation that came up earlier today. I was talking to a lady, and I mentioned something that I create a lot of short form video, and I use that short form video, but I track it. So, for example, you're watching my main YouTube channel here. I actually have five YouTube channels. You're not going to see a lot of shorts on this YouTube channel because shorts can cause problems, with the algorithm and with YouTube having a problem with something that's on it. And I don't want to have a problem with this channel, but I have 4 other ones, and all of those run shorts. Okay. And what they do is they all direct everything here, if that makes sense. All right. So I'm trying to give you guys some insight today as to how I use content and how I reuse content. I showed you CapCut. You can take a video and slightly alter it and then run it. Now, I don't run the same video on all 4 YouTube channels on the same day, but I will reuse a piece of content, but I will alter it to where it's not exactly the same and use a different set of hashtags on a different YouTube channel tomorrow. Does that make sense? And you can use them on, I mentioned before with TikTok, that I'll have at any point at least 5 TikTok accounts running. Now, do I post the same video to all 5 TikTok accounts on the same day? That's a question I've gotten. No, I don't, and I'm here to clarify that. But will I reuse that video that I used on Monday on channel 1, on channel 4 on Thursday? Yes. Will I probably change the initial caption and the hashtags? Yes, I will. So that it's not exactly the same. But it's a different set of viewers, it's a different channel, and there's different followers on that channel, right? So I think all of these things, and the reason I'm making this video and not just diving into, maybe Instagram or YouTube, is because I feel like you've already got a lot on your plate, and I want to do some clarification in this video. So this is video 10, and I'm just going to call it, a clarification video. So let's see, what else do I have on my notes here? Okay, so recurring, we've talked about that, but the idea of what you're doing being recurring, extremely important, right? And people say, well, I could go sell this, or I could go sell, yeah, you can, go do it then. Go try Amazon and see how that goes. I've been there, I've done that, right? Clickbank, I've been there, I've done that. I'm telling you now, recurring is where it's at. If it takes time to do that, it's worth it because it's recurring. It's on and on and on and on and on. It's a service that's renewable. That makes a difference, a big difference to your income. Believe me, you will see. Let's see, and I want to be clear. You don't need a massive audience, you guys. That's another question that keeps coming up. You don't need a massive audience. You really don't have to have this grand, giant audience. I just recently started this YouTube channel, and it's going very well. I mentioned, I think the other day, in another video that I made, did I think it was going to go faster? Yes, I did, because guess what? I've done this kind of stuff for a long time, but guess what? It takes the time it takes if you're trying to do it right and you're trying to do it honestly. That's just what it is, right? So I want to address that right here. As far as expectations, right? Some people in the group are going faster, and some it's taking longer. The main reason is, it's not magic. They're generating content, right? And I want to speak to content. Stop trying, those of you that are trying to make your content perfect, stop it. You don't need to. Make content, right? Don't make it horrible, right? But don't try to make it perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. And it depends, that beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? Depends upon who's looking at it. Is it perfect or not? Odds are you're not going to make it perfect for everybody. Don't be so nitpicky on yourself. Just make the content, deliver the message, and get it out, right? And then use that content. You can even chop off pieces of longer videos and use them in other things. I do that as well. So I'm trying to be clear here and cover a lot of the questions that have been coming up. If I missed anything, that's something else I want to mention. My number is on the bottom of my all my videos, right? More of you should use it. I'll get an email, because I don't check my email as often. Just shoot me a text. I will answer you, right? And I want you to shoot me a text. I want you to communicate with me. We're in this together. I'm here to help. That's the point of this channel, right? I want to help. Okay, so use me as a resource. That's what I'm here for. And I'll tell you, if I don't know the answer to your question, I'll get it. I know a lot of people. I will get the answer. That happened recently, and you know who you are. There's a young lady I was talking to, and she brought up a question that, I kind of knew an answer to, but I kind of had a hokey answer, to be honest, because it's just not something I've really ever considered. So I went and I got the answer for her and delivered her the actual real answer, right? It was something that was a genuine concern to her. So I went and figured it out. But those of you that have contacted me and communicated with me, I'm responsive. I'll get back to you. So I just want to throw that out there. I don't just put that number there for show. I mean it. I'm here to help. Okay? Let's see. And the last thing I want to address, that some of you, I feel like you don't understand this, so I really need to make sure this is understood clearly. An email list, right? Some of you are saying, well, what's the point in building an email list? I kind of touched on that earlier when I said you're collecting emails and names, right? And maybe even phone numbers if you want to, because you can communicate by texting and that kind of thing. But it's massive that you do that, because here's the truth. The wealthiest people on the internet have a massive email list. Now, I'm going to speak to that very clearly right now. They don't just have a bunch of names on a list with emails on them. An email list, for clarity, and that's where GetResponse comes into play here, as you learn more. You're going to start filtering people, because you don't want just a list of 300,000 people that don't respond to you and don't really care who you are or what you got to say. You want a qualified list of people, and that requires the funnel, right? That's what a funnel is. As you go through the funnel, you're funneling out people that aren't responsive, people that don't care, people that don't show any interest, and you're funneling it down to people that actually do know who you are, follow your content, and want to hear from you, right? Because you bring value. So that being said, I need you to be super clear. That's the purpose of an email list, right? You can make money without an email list. Don't get me wrong. But if what you want is long-term, serious money, you need to build an email list. And here's why. Very rarely, and I know I've said this before, so if I'm sounding redundant, I apologize. Very rarely does somebody just see something, boom, and they just buy it. It doesn't tend to work that way, okay? Normally they got to hear from you. The industry number is 7 times. I personally think it's more than that. So you need people on that list, because, and here's why. When you bring, let's say you're an HBA today and you're doing this, okay? I'm going to bring you something else that includes HBA in it. And guess what? It's a higher ticket, and it also includes HBA. Once you build that first initial audience and you show people how to do something and they trust you, now you can bring them this other thing that's a higher ticket. And guess what? They're going to make money on it and you're going to make money on it. But in order for them to want to hear about it, you got to A, be able to contact them. B, they got to know who you are. And C, they got to give a damn what you got to say. Okay? So I think that kind of covers my list here. And my video is getting a little longer than I planned. So I think I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, look at that. I lost my screen. I think I'm going to go ahead and shut it down, and maybe I can speed this up a little bit and edit. But I wanted to cover these topics. If you have a question that I did not cover today, do me a huge favor. Reach out to me and let me know. That phone number is there for a reason. Please use it. Okay? Everybody have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.